Acknowledging God's sovereignty is the foundation of our faith, and it is crucial to remember that God is the ultimate authority in our lives. When we reflect on His sovereignty, we are reminded that everything in this world, from the smallest grain of sand to the vast expanse of the universe, is under His control. There is no force greater than God, and there is no one who can question or challenge His will. This understanding provides us with a sense of security, knowing that the Creator of all things is guiding us, protecting us, and providing for us in every moment of our lives. The sovereignty of God means that He holds supreme power over all aspects of existence. He is not only the creator of the heavens and the earth, but He is also the sustainer of life. Every heartbeat, every breath we take is a gift from Him. His wisdom and knowledge extend beyond what we can fathom, and His plans for us are perfect and unshakable. Acknowledging His sovereignty requires us to submit ourselves to His divine will, trusting that He knows what is best for us, even when we cannot understand the circumstances we face. God's sovereignty is seen in the natural world as well. The sun rises and sets at His command. The seasons change according to His plan, and every star in the sky follows the course He has set for it. The beauty and order of nature reflect His perfect design, and when we acknowledge this, we are reminded of His constant presence and power. His sovereignty is also evident in the way He orchestrates events in our lives, guiding us through both moments of joy and times of hardship. Even when we face challenges, His hand is upon us, shaping us and helping us grow in ways we might not fully comprehend. When we acknowledge God's sovereignty, we are called to live in humility and reverence before Him. We recognize that we are not in control of our lives, but that God, in His infinite wisdom, is the one who holds the ultimate authority. This acknowledgement brings a deep sense of peace and trust, knowing that we are not alone in the struggles we face. God is with us, and His sovereignty assures us that His plans for our lives are filled with purpose and love. In recognizing His sovereignty, we are reminded that our lives are part of a greater plan, and every moment, whether filled with joy or sorrow, is within His divine control. Gratitude for life is a powerful and transformative practice that connects us deeply to the essence of our being and to the Creator who has given us the gift of existence. Each day, as we wake up, we are presented with the opportunity to acknowledge the miracle of life itself. The simple fact that we are alive, breathing, and experiencing the world around us is something that we often take for granted, but it is a profound blessing that deserves our utmost gratitude. Life, in all its beauty and challenges, is a precious gift that we should never overlook. When we express gratitude for life, we acknowledge the divine wisdom and love that has brought us into existence. Every heartbeat, every breath we take is a testament to God's grace and mercy. Life is a series of moments, fleeting and precious, and when we embrace this truth, we begin to appreciate each one for its unique value. Even in the midst of difficulties, when things feel uncertain or overwhelming, there is still much to be grateful for. The very act of waking up to a new day, of being able to see hear, touch, and feel is a gift that we often forget to appreciate. Gratitude for life invites us to reflect on the many blessings we have, both big and small. We can be grateful for our health. I answer, the relationships that enrich our lives, the opportunities for growth and learning, and the moments of joy that come from simple pleasures. It's easy to focus on what we lack or what we wish were different. But when we choose to focus on gratitude, we shift our perspective. We begin to see that there is always something to be thankful for, no matter the circumstances. Gratitude for life also helps us build resilience. When we are grateful, we are more likely to approach life's challenges with a positive and hopeful mindset. Even in times of hardship, gratitude helps us to remain grounded in the understanding that life is still worth living, that there is still purpose and meaning in our journey. It reminds us that every experience, every trial is an opportunity to grow, learn, and deepen our connection to the divine. By expressing gratitude for life, we open our hearts to receive more blessings. And the act of being thankful is a spiritual practice that aligns our hearts with God's will and draws us closer to Him. It is through gratitude that we recognize His hand in every moment of our existence, and in turn, we are better able to live with joy, peace, and purpose. Life is a gift, and when we cultivate an attitude of gratitude, we begin to see the world through a lens of love and appreciation. Seeking strength for the day is an essential part of our spiritual journey, as each new day brings with it its own set of challenges and opportunities. Life, with all its unpredictability, can sometimes feel overwhelming. There are moments when the weight of responsibilities, the pressure of expectations, or the struggle against our inner doubts and fears can make it seem like we are carrying a heavy burden. In such moments, we must turn to the source of our strength, God, who is our refuge and our help in times of need. When we seek strength for the day, we acknowledge that we cannot face the challenges of life on our own. We recognize that in our weakness, God's strength is made perfect. By surrendering our worries, fears, and anxieties to Him, we allow His power to fill us and sustain us through whatever comes our way. It is in these moments of vulnerability that we invite God to work in our lives, transforming our limitations into opportunities for His glory to be revealed. Seeking strength is not just about asking for physical energy or mental clarity. It is also about asking for emotional and spiritual resilience. Each day brings with it moments of stress, frustration, and discouragement, but when we seek strength from God, we receive not just the ability to persevere, but also the peace that comes from knowing that we are not alone. The trials we face are part of the journey, and with God's strength, we can face them with courage and grace. We do not need to have all the answers, but we can trust that God, in His wisdom, will guide us through every circumstance. The act of seeking strength is also an acknowledgement of our dependency on God. It is easy to become self-reliant and to believe that we have the power to control every aspect of our lives. But the truth is that we are fragile beings, and we need divine help to navigate the complexities of life, by humbling ourselves and asking for strength, we are reminded that our lives are not solely in our hands, but in the hands of the one who knows what is best for us. This reliance on God is a key aspect of faith, as it encourages us to trust in His plan, even when we cannot see the way forward. Seeking strength for the day is also an invitation to align our hearts with God's will. It is not merely about surviving the day, but about thriving in it, living in harmony with God's purpose for our lives. When we seek strength, we are not just asking for endurance, but for the wisdom to make decisions that reflect His love, the compassion to serve others selflessly, and the humility to accept whatever comes our way. With each new day, God offers us the strength we need to face it with a heart full of faith and trust in His unfailing love. Commitment to walk in faith is a profound decision that shapes how we live our lives each day. It is not simply about believing in God, it is about trusting Him wholeheartedly, even when the path ahead seems uncertain or difficult. Walking in faith requires us to step forward with conviction, knowing that God is guiding us, even when we cannot always see the road ahead. It is a journey that demands patience, perseverance, and a deep sense of trust in His timing and wisdom. Faith is not just an abstract concept, it is something that is lived out in every moment of our lives. To walk in faith means to live with the assurance that God is with us, even in the midst of trials and hardships. It means trusting that His plan for our lives is good, even when we cannot understand the difficulties we face. Every step we take, every decision we make is an act of faith when we trust that God is leading us and that He is faithful to His promises. Commitment to walk in faith also involves surrender. It is a conscious choice to let go of our own plans and desires and instead to align ourselves with God's will. This surrender is not easy, as it often requires us to relinquish control over aspects of our lives that we hold dear. But in doing so, we acknowledge that God's wisdom far surpasses our own, and that His ways are higher than our ways. This commitment is a daily decision to trust Him, to believe that He knows what is best for us, and to follow His guidance wherever it may lead. Walking in faith also means living with hope, even in the face of uncertainty. It is easy to lose hope when life gets challenging, but faith keeps us anchored, reminding us that we are not alone. With every step we take in faith, we are walking toward the fulfillment of God's promises, even if we cannot see them yet. It requires us to live with the understanding that our journey is not defined by the obstacles we encounter, but by the one who walks with us. This hope sustains us, giving us strength to continue when the road feels too long or too hard. To walk in faith is to choose a life that is guided by God's word, a life that seeks His presence and follows His teachings. It is a commitment to live according to the values and principles He has set forth, even when the world around us may be pulling us in a different direction. It means trusting that His way is the best way, even when it is not the easiest or the most popular. Every day is an opportunity to reaffirm this commitment, to walk with integrity, and to follow the path He has laid before us. Faith is not just a belief, but a lifestyle, a commitment to walk with God, trusting in His direction, and living according to His purpose. Walking in faith also involves embracing God's purpose for our lives, even when it is unclear or different from what we had envisioned for ourselves. It requires surrendering our own desires and being open to the path He has set, be trusting that His purpose is greater than our own plans. This involves stepping out in faith, even when the journey doesn't make sense or when the destination seems distant. By embracing God's purpose, we learn to find fulfillment not in our own ambitions, but in the understanding that our lives are part of a greater divine plan. Walking in faith means trusting that God has a specific and meaningful purpose for us. And as we follow His guidance, we become instruments of His will in the world. Embracing God's purpose in every step is an essential part of walking in faith. It involves a deep recognition that our lives are not our own, but are part of a larger divine plan. Often, we make plans for ourselves based on our desires, ambitions, and understanding of what is best. However, embracing God's purpose requires us to trust that His plan is more significant, more fulfilling, and more perfect than anything we could design on our own. It means stepping aside from our limited perspective and trusting that God knows exactly what we need when we need it. This kind of trust is not always easy. Life doesn't always unfold as we expect, and there are times when we face setbacks, detours, and challenges that make us question the path we are on. Yet, when we embrace God's purpose, we learn to see these moments not as obstacles, but as part of the refining process that shapes us into who He desires us to be. It is in these moments of uncertainty and struggle that our faith is tested, and we are given the opportunity to rely fully on God's wisdom and timing. To embrace God's purpose is to surrender our own will and be open to His guidance. It means trusting that He will lead us in the right direction. Even when we cannot see the entire path ahead, it requires us to have the courage to follow Him, even when the journey is difficult or unclear. By embracing God's purpose, we begin to live in alignment with His will, finding peace and fulfillment in knowing that we are exactly where He wants us to be.